back in the shop. Obviously, we got the Mustang. I'm looking at the Mustang. We got the Miata over here. And over here we have a VQ 35 HR. So what that means is we got 2 throttle bodies, 7,500 RPM red line, and 309 brake horsepower coming out of this bad boy right here. So I found this local marketplace. It was about an hour away. Not too bad, but it's got a cracked oil pan. And if you know these motors, it has a lower pan and it has an upper pan. The upper pan is basically part of the motor. So that's about 160 bucks. Not too bad to replace though. Not really worried about it. Maybe I can weld it, but it's cast aluminum. And if you know anything about welding cast aluminum, we'll see what goes on. The other problem I have with it is I was measuring it and side to side, you know, it fits pretty good. We might have to do a little trimming to these 2 pieces right here, but that's all to be expected. You know, every swap you have to cut out these corners, yada yada, not a big deal. Making my own subframe, that way that will all be gone. But the real problem is the height of this thing. We can see, you know, it's almost as tall as the car, which is a scary sight to see because the end goal needs to be under the hood. I've seen a couple done online. Rest in peace, Stickbug. Yeah, he's a goner. Don't know how he got in here, but guess he had no food in here. Anyway, so I did some measuring, and if we look at our wheel gap over here, before we saw the Stickbug and all that, it's a good 3.5 fingers. The problem is, the floor to the top of the hood, even with a 3.5 finger gap, is like, it's just barely gonna fit. So, my idea for this is a massive skid panel underneath basically the whole car. Now, the other problem we have is whenever the motor goes in, it's gonna put weight on those shocks and it's gonna come down. So literally, I have to adjust my coilovers, I think, to sit like a monster truck in order for this thing to not be hitting the road every time I drive this thing. Now, I was looking into some aftermarket intakes, but the intake on these, I think because the motor is so tall already that they make the intakes flat. If you've ever seen underneath of a G35, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the 35DE has the metal one, but it's still flat, and this one has a plastic one that is flat. Now, what I could do is possibly make a hood just for this swap. I know that they have a couple hoods out there, like the D-Max style hood is super sick, and it would definitely be something like that, where it is basically, it's a cowl induction hood scoop that has vents cut into it. Looks super sick. So if we take this one for example, and we just make this, you know, out here, and then turn it around, that is a regular cowl induction hood scoop. The air comes in through the grill, comes out the big hole in the back of it here, and also gives you up to 4 inches, not even up to however many inches you want, really, depending on what they make for your car or what you can make yourself. And this was a big thing for carburetor cars just like this. That way you could fit a big fat air cleaner and a big fat carburetor and everything up under the hood scoop. So kind of gonna go hot rod. Obviously it's hot rod black already. Let's keep the theme going, and we're probably gonna have to put a hood scoop on this thing. I wanted it to be stock looking. It has a wide body. Not really stock looking off of rip, but I don't like the sound of the VQ. So I really wanted to have a very mild, quiet exhaust so I could roll up somebody. They're like 1.6 Miata or 1.8, you know, I guess they won't really be able to tell. And I'm gonna roll this thing. And then they find out. But doesn't really seem like that's gonna be a thing. We'll see how it goes. You know, nothing has even been made for it yet. I'm just going off of some simple measurements, and I'm really struggling to make it work in my head. But at the same time, if we look at how it is sitting right now, we are obviously a little bit taller in the front than we are in the rear. Not horrible though. Do you guys think it would be... Don't worry about that. Do you guys think it would be bad if it sat at its current height? At the end of the day, this is a drift car. And with a drift car, you have to sacrifice looks. And the reason we have to sacrifice looks is because with looks comes horrible suspension geometry, comes, you know, just not even usability. You can't even go up over a curb. If I drop a tire and my whole side skirt rips off, I'm going to be a little upset just because I dropped the tire. I didn't even crash the car. I just, you know, goofed a little bit, and I'm a novice drifter. Therefore, I'm going to be dropping a tire depending on tracks we go to. The one around us, Evergreen, it doesn't have any place to drop a tire like really deeply where I'm really concerned about it, but that's only one track, and I do not plan to only go to one track. Therefore, I'm thinking about everything. Better suspension geometry, better off-road ability, kind of a weird thing to think about with a drift car, but better off-road ability and everything else that comes with a slightly raised car. Fitting a motor, you know, that's always a good thing about a slightly raised car. Anyway, enough about the Miata. That stuff will be coming soon, so if you guys want to check that out, please subscribe, like, comment what you want to see first. I have all the metal over here in this corner, and that is going to be for the subframe. I got some 2x3 box tubing, some thick metal, round tubing and stuff, and that will eventually get cut up, bent, and I have a CNC plasma table, which is never before seen on the channel, I don't believe. So we have all of the tools that we need to make anything we want, which is super awesome, super exciting, and I can't wait to get into the really custom work. Here we got a welder. Obviously, I've had this thing on the channel for a little bit. You guys have seen it. So this does MIG and TIG. That's out of the way. We've got the bender. This has been on the channel before. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. I've mentioned it. I don't know if I've showed it. But yeah, so we got the bender, so we can bend 1 inch tube, 1 1/4 tube, 1 5/8 tube, and that will allow me to do crash bars, roll cages, and 1 inch tubing, and that will be those little doodads over there. And that'll be for like the bicycle stuff. I did film a crash or a 12 bar for the Benelli. I probably am gonna make a new one because the dimensions aren't perfect. I kind of messed up on a couple things, so I'm gonna be remaking that and then posting a video eventually, probably whenever it gets warmer and I'll be able to use it. Not that I really wheelie like that, so maybe, I don't know. It'll probably be a video in the future though. So this is a plasma cutter, and then this is the CNC table that moves the plasma wand around to make a little something like so. I designed this in a software, I forget what it is, Fusion 360. And then you just plug that into your laptop down there, and then you plug the laptop into the computer box over there, and then this thing moves around and it does this. Pretty sweet. Endless options, honestly. Like if I can make something like this, like, oh, I'm so excited. I can make perfect motor mounts, I can make perfect gussets, I can make so much stuff with that, and I don't have to go out and buy something. I just have to go out and buy a piece of metal, have the piece of metal in the shop, and whenever I need something, work on the computer a little bit, and then I have a part that I need. So pretty sick. So it's a little bit warmer in the shop than it is outside, so I'm gonna stay in here, but I'm gonna give you guys a little peek through the window at the old Festiva. There she is. So the Festiva will be getting an entirely stripped interior. There's mice in there because we live out in the boonies and the mice have nowhere to go, so they're like, it's getting cold, let me live in the Festiva. Thanks. Anyway, nothing has happened to that thing really. The bodywork still needs done to it, and who likes doing body work? Not me. So that'll get done eventually. Just wait a little bit, you know. And then the interior will get a whole refresh. It's gonna get painted, and then it's gonna get wrapped in like a little livery with the company logo. And that brings us right into the next topic. Your boy has filed for an LLC, therefore I will be official, and I will be making parts for Miata swaps, for bikes, for motor mounts, for blah blah blah, using all the tools that I've already showed you in the video. And I'm super excited for this. Can't wait to get my website going, selling my own merch, selling my own parts, really hunkering down and looking towards the future. I've been kind of rolling through these past 2 years and looking back on it, no regrets, but you know, it was a fun time. But it's time to hunker down and really get to work, because if I want my dreams to come true, they're not gonna come true sitting around doing nothing. So there's that. And on that note, kind of a little bit downer, but on the upside, hey, improve every single day. We ain't gonna end on a bad note. Every single day. Doesn't matter what you were yesterday, it matters what you are today, tomorrow, the week after. Keep improving. 1% better every single day. 100 days, you're double the person you were. So just a little bit of motivation for y'all, and hopefully I can listen to my own words this time. Anyway, peace, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.